You know that feeling, right? You're staring at a spreadsheet with thousands of rows, and you just know the answers are hiding in there, but finding them feels like a total nightmare. Well, today, we're going to look at the tool that data pros use to turn all that chaos into pure clarity. Let's get started.
Yeah, it's a familiar feeling for a lot of us. You get a file, maybe a CSV, maybe an Excel sheet, and it's just this massive wall of text and numbers. You know the insights are buried in there somewhere, but trying to dig them out by hand is slow, it's frustrating, and it's a huge roadblock to actually making smart decisions.
And this is really the core problem we're talking about today, the data dilemma. We're going to explore exactly how to go from that messy, chaotic pile of raw information to the beautiful clarity of a structured data set that's actually ready for analysis.
I mean, think about it. You open a file, and you might have missing values, all kinds of inconsistent formatting, or just thousands of rows that are completely impossible to scan with your own eyes. Trying to clean this up or analyze it manually isn't just slow, it's basically a recipe for errors and a major headache.
But there's a tool that was designed specifically to solve this challenge. So it's time to move from the problem to the solution. Let's introduce your data's new best friend, Pandas.
So what is Pandas? Well, simply put, it's a foundational library for the Python programming language, and it was built from the ground up to make data manipulation intuitive and incredibly fast. It is the go-to tool for data scientists and analysts everywhere, and we're about to see exactly why.
The real magic of Pandas is how it combines simplicity and power. It gives you that familiar, easy-to-read cable structure of a spreadsheet, but it packs the raw processing punch of a database. It's capable of handling huge data sets and complex calculations in a flash. You really get the best of both worlds, all the simplicity with none of the limitations.
Okay, so you might be thinking, that sounds great, but is it complicated? And the answer is a big no. You can take a messy data file and turn it into a perfectly structured table with just 2 simple lines of code. Seriously.
And here it is. That's the entire recipe. The first line, import pandas as PD, is just you telling Python, hey, I need to use my data analysis toolkit, and I'm going to call it PD to keep it short. The second line is where all the action happens. We're creating something called a DataFrame, which is really just a fancy name for a table, and we're telling Pandas to read our file, in this case data.csv, and load it right in.
And just like that, look at the result. In one step, that raw, messy data from our file is completely transformed into this clean, organized table, our data frame. The columns are all labeled, the rows are indexed, and it's totally ready for analysis. This is the core power of Pandas, turning chaos into order.
But look, getting the data into a clean table is just the beginning. The real power comes when you start asking questions and getting immediate insights from our new data frame.
So once our data is loaded, the first thing we almost always want to do is just get a quick feel for it. We don't need to see all 1,000 rows at once. And for that, we use a super simple command, df.head.
And here's the output. The head command just shows us the top 5 rows. It's the perfect way to quickly check that our data loaded correctly, see the column names, and just get a sense of it all without being completely overwhelmed by the entire dataset.
Okay, so we've seen the data structure, but what if we want to understand it on a much deeper level? What's the average score? What's the highest, the lowest? For that, we have another incredibly powerful command, df.describe.
With that one command, bam, Pandas calculates a full statistical summary for our score column. We can see there are 50 entries, the average or mean score is 85.5, and the scores range from a minimum of 65 all the way to a maximum of 99. The most important point here is that in 1 second, we've gone from a raw file to a really meaningful summary of our data.
This is where we start to see the real advantages pile up. Everything we just did was fast, it was repeatable, and it was powerful. It shows us why, for any serious data work, Pandas is the clear winner over trying to do all this manually in a spreadsheet.
So why does Pandas win? Well, think about scale. Our example had 50 rows. A spreadsheet is fine, but what about 5 million? Pandas handles that without breaking a sweat. The steps we took can be automated into a script so you can process new data with a single command. And this is just scratching the surface. From here, you can integrate with powerful visualization and machine learning libraries, enabling a level of analysis a spreadsheet simply can't touch.
And this all brings us to the key takeaway. When you're facing a data set, you need a tool that simplifies all that complexity and actually empowers you to find answers. For countless data professionals, that tool is Pandas.
So every data set has a story to tell. It's got insights, patterns, and answers just waiting to be found. The challenge now is no longer just about collecting data, it's about understanding it. With a tool like Pandas, you finally have a way to hear what it's saying. So the only question left is, are you ready to listen?